locate some important features of ships, such as engine room or accommodation, those things. So this is so this cap this chapter is just not that hard chapter. This is very easy chapter, just introducing some basic principles. So about general arrangements, the important problem is where to locate. For example, there can be a conflict like where to locate engine room, because engine room will make some heat or some noise, and maybe we have to locate engine room far from where we sleep, like accommodation or cabin. And this is not just a simple problem because there are so many answers. There is no single correct answer. Designing is similar to decision making, so there might be infinite ways to solve the problem. So this is a general arrangement drawing for 3,300 TEU container ship. This is very complicated, right? Well, as you can see, those drawings are general arrangement drawing, and this is a real drawing used by a ship making company. So we should be able to draw or understanding this drawing when we work for a ship company. So, well, there are three main drawings for ship, and one is a general arrangement, and one is midship section drawing. Midship section drawing is, as you can think from the word, we draw a section of middle part of the ship. Well, this is also important because ship is usually very long, and the mid part might break if there is not enough strength or some structural design thinking. So, and we also have to draw lines which we have to consider about hydrodynamic designs. So before introducing some principles for general arrangement, can you think of any principles such as, well, we had some problems like conflicts like where to locate engine. Is there any idea for some principles where to locate some important parts of ships?
Maybe I think it's heavy, so for safety, it should go down there.
You mean the mass?
Yeah, I think the mass is big, large, so it should go to the bottom area.
For he said for the if the mass center of mass go down, it will be more safe. So, well, is there any other idea? Well, in this chapter, his opinion is right, but in this chapter we don't focus on those some kind of mechanical things. We just focused on some basic principles. So let me introduce them. So for a general arrangement, primary function is the most important thing. Well, for example, as you can see in the slide, for fishing boat, the most important function is fish catching equipment. So we have to consider fish catching most on fishing boat. And also for cargo ship, we have to consider form of what form of cargo we have to move, and we also have to consider how to on and off cargoes, and also things like location of hull. Well, this is also drawing of mobile harbor MHA1 250. So uh, uh, so yeah. So this principle is about primary function, and what will be the primary function? Oh, sorry. So primary function of yacht will be some sail engine, and about a form of cargo, we have to consider whether the cargo is rice or oil, and uh, we may choose what to use, such as using pipe to move cargo, or using lifting container to move cargo. So we have those choices. And the next principle is inside out. Well, we should locate some important parts like engine room, cargo space, accommodation, oil tank, water tank, and float tank. And then we have to design exterior appearance, because well, this is a very easy concept, because if we think about exterior of appearance first, and maybe there might be not enough space or some unsafety for very important parts of ship. Well, these are not for some yacht or passenger ships, because yacht or passenger ships, people think the exterior appearance is important, because yeah. So this is not for those ships. And ships we have to think about some conditions of ships, not just ship is on the water, so we have to consider if there is a bad weather or rain falling, or rolling and pitching. Rolling is if ship is on the water, ship will be ship will go like this way by the wave, right, left and right. They will roll, and pitching is by the wave up front. It goes up and down in this way. So these are rolling and pitching. And so this is a drawing for dry bulk cargo carrier. So this is an example of we have to think about the general arrangement or design of ship by what cargo they move. Do you know what dry bulk is? Dry bulk is like, unlike wet bulk like oil, dry bulk are like rice or grains, and we don't package them. We just put them into container. Those are dry bulk. So as you can see on the drawing, can you see number 2, large hatch covers? So this is for dry bulk. We usually in this boat we just lift container. So that's why they use large hatch covers. We just put them side, and we can lift containers. And for not dry bulk, if the form of cargo is wet bulk, maybe we can use pipe or some other things. So this is a ship design for form of the cargo they move. So can you see? This is a picture of this drawing. This is a real picture. And this is, as you heard from the last slide, a dry cargo carrier. And you can see some hatch covers on the deck, and we just pull them left or right, and we can unhatch them, and we lift containers. And also, interesting part of this ship is that you can see the red and black color line, and that is for the safetiness of not overloading cargoes. If the water line is on, if the water line overs the red line, and it means the cargo is too much. So we can check the load condition. So, and next principle is classing items apart. Well, as I mentioned from the first slide, we have to keep accommodation from noisy parts such as engine room for the comfortable ship life. So that was clashing items apart, and we have to put major structural items into the layout. Well, there is an example for bad design, a pillar in the middle of passageway. This might be uncomfortable for passengers because there are pillar on the live location. So, and also important thing is clearance for repairs, because we want to make some things ships maybe sometimes as small as possible. For example, not only for ships, for submarine, in order to make safe and pressure durable submarine, maybe we have to make them small, and but we have to think about clearance for repairs. Well, about other several principles above, I can think of them when I read them, but this was what I didn't think of. We have to have some space for repairing, and also we should have space for wrench and screwdriver so that we can fix them. And so this is examples of ships and tanker. The above one is fully loaded oil tanker, and as you can see from the picture, there are many pipes on the deck, right? So about wet bulk cargo, they use oil pipes instead of hatch cover. And the picture in the below, it is a self-unloading collier. A collier is a ship that moves by coal, and self-unloading means there is for the ship, for the safetiness, there is a double bottom on the ship, so that if the primary bottom is crashed, there is double bottom so that it can protect from water going into ship. And at the very bottom of the double bottom, there is a conveyor belt so that it can unload some grains itself. So that's why the name of this ship is self-unloading collier. So these are some carriers, picture of carriers made in Japan. And there are some future ships future ships I want to introduce. For some oil tanker, uh, the picture is on Russia. Sometimes we have to go over some ice, very maybe thick ice, and this is a Arctic shuttle tanker for those things. And as you can see from the picture on the left above, the front part is very long, and the mechanism of this ship is that front slope is small, and they go above the ice, and with the strength and its mass, they go down, and then they crush ice. So this is the end of my slide, and well, there were some principles like inside out design, and we have to think about primary function, and for cargo ships, what kind of cargo we have to move, and we should keep clearance for repairs, and we should apart clashing items. So if there is any other principles for general arrangement, I want to listen for the discussion part. Is there any idea for new principle? Okay. Then thank you for listening.
Exam next week on Monday, 12:30, right? 12:30. We start earlier. We should have another announcement for the timing. And then I will not be here on this lecture because I will have a travel to China on this day. So Professor Kim Jin-han will guide you. Any question on schedule? No. Then we start in this capping on general arrangement. This is a typical drawing for ship design. There are three key drawings for ship designers. One of them is general arrangement. General arrangement. And then the other one is midsection drawing. And the last one is lines drawing. Those are three key drawings for ship designers. Three key drawings. Okay. Lines is outer shape of the ship. Outer shape, skin, outer skin. Right? It's a round shape. Right? It's a long, slender, and round fish-like shape. Half of the fish. So it defines the outer surface of the ship. The lines drawing. Okay? And mid-section drawing is midship, in the middle. You cut the ship in the middle, and then you show the section of that midship. Sectional drawing. Sectional drawing. That gives you the structural design of the ship. The main drawing for structural design. Strength. Because a ship is very slender, and the middle is very weak, usually. In terms of strength, they broke in the middle. Many ships, including Cheonam. Cheonam is a rather shorter ship. But in usual, the ship is very slender. Slender like this. So in the middle is very weak point. So the structural design, whole structural, it can be a beam design, right? Very complex beam design. Or is the similar to airplane? Airplane is also slender and longer. So midship section is very important for the structural designs. And general arrangement is just arrangement. How can we use the inner space? You can think about you are trying to design this building. Right? This building is made up of rooms, many rooms. Right? How many floors? 5 floors. And each floor has rooms. You should provide staircase. You should provide elevator. You should provide boiler room, air conditioning room, piping, right? Electricity. Those arrangements. And which room should be big classroom like this one? And which one can be a smaller one? There is a biggest one. What is the name of the biggest room in here? Town hall. It's very big, right? So how can you sizing them? Like how many rooms? How can you arrange them? Is it collecting big rooms in one floor, or just mixture of smaller and bigger ones together? Which one is better for this school, or for students, or for lecturers? So your decision. It is shown in this picture. In a ship interior, you should put some functions and locations and sizing of each area or space. There is a general arrangement. And inside out and outside in is similar to this way. If you're trying to build a building in a city center of Seoul, then the price of the land is very expensive. And there are so many regulations applying to that building. So as a designer, I want to build as big as much possible in given area or land size. So I should start with the maximum outer size of the building, right? By the some kind of regulations, some kind of probably a lot of regulations gives you a maximum outer skin of the building can be decided. Because I want to build the biggest one as I can in that given condition. Right? So you should start from outside. And then given outside, you place functions like rooms, living rooms, kitchens, restaurants, boiler rooms, such as that. But if I try to build my home in the countryside, there is enough cheaper land area there. Right? So I can be used spacious. Then it can be more like inside out design. Less constraint on outer skirt or sizing or shape. So there is a different priorities depending on the situation. That is my all right, and then go up to the starting point again. So arrangements, we are trying to start with chapter 2 of this book, the new book, textbook, and general arrangement is and we just covered section 1, so I tried to section 2. There is many illustrations. So by looking at the profile of the ship as an experienced designer, we can identify which type of ship as like this one by only looking at the profile of the ship. There are differences. Say if you use Google image search, maybe the Google image search engine can identify the ship type too. This one is, I just included new as I listening to the bulk carrier. Right. This is a snack. you can buy from the supermarket, but not, you cannot buy one piece, right? You can buy as a bulk. You can weigh, or you can measure size, or usually the weight you can pay by weight. 10,000 won per kilogram, something like that. So we can say this is a bulk material. And another sample is the coal. Is purchased and transported by bulk cargo. This is bulk carry. Okay. By comparing these two, you see that this is a water line. This is water line. Okay? And above water line, above profile, above the water line, profile of the ship above the water line is very, very shallow for bulk carrier, higher for cruise ship. And then if you see that submerged parts together, if you have a chance to see the submerged parts together, this one has a bigger submerged part than this one. This one is very shallow submerged part. Why? Why?
Weight and speed.
Weight and speed.
Because in bulk carrier we have to put a lot of weight. So we have to displace equal amount of water. Okay. That is why the bulk carrier has bigger size.
Right.
And cruise ship we have smaller weight, so and we also have to move fast. So that's
why cruise ship is less weight. Not heavy, right? Bulk cargo, so you are saying bulk cargo is usually heavier. Is it true? Right. Go ahead.
Bulk carrier is much more dense if you compare it with the cruise ship. Like if they have the same volume, bulk carrier would be much heavier because of the density. Like you don't pack people next to each other in the cruise ship, but in the bulk carrier you use every available space.
So almost correct. Right. What is the definition of density then?
What's the definition?
Density.
Like the weight per space.
Right. Weight per space. That is a correct answer to this my question. Density. Right. Density difference between two cargos. Weight per space is heavier for this kind of cargo. There are lighter density bulk cargos, like as a cotton. Cotton is very light, right? But usually we do not move cottons in a bulk carriers. Ship, no. But usually they carry coal or grain or something like that, cement. And actually the oil is also a kind of bulk cargo. Wet bulk cargo, wet bulk cargo, and dry bulk cargo, and wet bulk cargo. And usually the heavy density cargos are carried by bulk carriers. That's why they have a deeper portion or draft than cruise ship. Cruise ship, you can think about this room. We are using this space, right? For how many weight we are using? Very small. All are empty. Most of 80 or 90% empty. Yeah? This room is occupied by classroom, right? Yeah. Similar to cruise ship, every passenger room is occupied by passenger, almost empty. In terms of density, it's very light. So that they need more space. Than weight, than buoyancy. This is submerged part gives you buoyancy forces. Right? So they don't need any big buoyancy forces compared to this one. This one, they need bigger buoyancy. They need big buoyancy. Right, that is a very simple, what is important for the ship designs. Right. So this is a container ship. And Samsung, I borrowed many slides coming from Samsung. This is only computer graphics, not probably this is one I copied from several years ago. They may have a chip already built because it is only 13,000 container TU. So there are already 18,000 TU container ship is already launched by Maersk Line already. So this is smaller than this size. So okay, and then go on to this video is good for this one shows how do you loading and unloading the containers by using cranes.
Let me show you how containers work. It's possible that most things around you right now came from a container ship. The food you ate, the phone or computer you're looking at. We have anything from apples to frozen meat to explosive or toxic gases on the ship. Some of the things we carry is pretty bizarre.
Inside the container,
Everything
truck is
actually begins in the office with a team of people we call central planners. They draw a cargo plan for the whole supply chain. Then it's sent to a chief mate to adjust as required.
we call this storage plan.
The containers are loaded by a port's crane. Some say they were used by the Empire.
Many of these trucks are unmanned trucks. These trucks, unmanned.
Starting from the bottom, stacking up like Legos. These cargo holds can be as deep as 40 times 40 meters. The space are built with these long sail guides that run downwards. It secures the containers in place. And this is what an empty container holder looks like. Once it's filled, a hatch cover is placed on top so that more containers can be loaded.
This is hatch cover. Cover top of the ship, and then containers are stacked over again.
The ones above on deck will need extra lashings to secure them. Workers from the port handle the physical labor of lashing. Thank God, because these full metal rods are very, very heavy.
Securing the cargo because ship is moving, there's wind is blowing.
Turnbuckles are twisted to tighten the steel rods. For that, we have turnbuckles, short bars, long bars, and twist locks. There's actually a few types of twist locks on a ship. Some are manual, some are automatic. It all depends on the location of the containers, but they serve the same purpose, which is to lock containers.
In the several cases, they do not use such a locking or latching.
Once again,
Right.
it really is just like stacking Legos. The fruits and frozen products are transported by reefers. Reefers are short for refrigerated containers. They are pretty much a gigantic portable fridge. It can keep temperatures anywhere from room temperature to negative 30 degrees. That's negative 90 Fahrenheit for American folks. So what's my part in all this? Well, as third mate, my job during cargo operation is to monitor the loading and discharging progress. Afterwards, checking the latching to make sure it's done properly. The last thing we want are containers falling to sea if we ever run into bad weather. Other than that, we keep watch on the overall condition of the ship, including safety and security, checking the mooring lines and looking out for any suspicious activities like stowaways or pirates. So that was a general overview of how cargo operations are done on container ships. If you've got any specific questions, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Right. This is a typical cruise ships in Japan. You need a terminal like this one. Many times it is floating type. Terminal itself is floating. So the land size here, especially in Tokyo area. The land cost is very high, so they prefer to have a floating terminal like this. And the space again, as you see that submerged part is very small, right? Comparing to the above part. That's why the cruise ship is not so stable. Right? Top heavy. Somebody says that center of gravity should be lower, right? Yeah, it's good. It's safer. Right? But basically, this type of ship is center of gravity is higher than water level. Right? So you need to be more careful on this designing on this kind of ship. And then cruise ship once again. I will not show you. There are videos, but I will not cover for saving time. And Panama Canal. Also, I guess we watched this video before by some student lectures. So you can see this again if you have a time. Right. This is a research vessel. Oh, this is a drill ship, drill tower. I should write. JAMSTEC. JAMSTEC is a research institute of Japan's marine ocean technology. We may have a. So there is also oceanography research ship. They may have a time. Let me show you a little bit on this. What kind of work is done in a research vessel? Because it's not a popular ship. Maybe see some of them.
70% of the Earth is covered by the ocean, and the ocean interacts with the atmosphere and the land. Those interactions control the world we live in.
Some of the most important questions facing society include climate change, the future of food supply, sea level rise, geohazards such as earthquakes and volcanism along the coastline. It's very important to understand the basic scientific underpinnings of all all these different processes.
Being able to go out to the ocean and make observations is the most critical component of oceanography. It's going to rely on new vessels with new capabilities to use the ship efficiently and gain the maximum benefit for the most people.
When we were approached by Oregon State, one of their key objectives was to make this as green a ship as possible. We've gone to great lengths to incorporate the latest technologies into the ship to keep it as environmentally friendly as we can.
We decided to use variable speed alternators to make electricity. We've also used LED lighting wherever possible. We're using waste heat, so the heat from the engine, we'll use that to heat domestic water and to actually make potable water for the ship.
The design of the ship is very, very important to the efficiency of the ship. And so we went to great lengths to make this as low resistance hull as we could, in keeping with the desires of the scientists to have bubble sweep down minimized for the performance of their
This is a
instrumentation.
model testing.
Part of the design has been to incorporate a U-tube anti-roll tank. And so that means the vessel can operate in more challenging environments. And a lot of our coastal environments use the U-tube anti-roll tank. And so
Anti-roll tank is trying to reduce rolling of the motion of the ship. Right? There is a sample anti-rolling tank in our another building where my office is there. So if we have a chance to see that one. So this one gives you, there is another tank inside the ship, and then when the ship is rolling in this way, the liquid, this is usually water, and they have a different cycle, delay of the cycle of oscillation, so that they are trying to reduce the rolling motion. That is the idea behind. Sometimes you can use pumping to maximize the anti-rolling motion, to the switching back in different oscillation. Say the signal can be different, 90-degree different, right? That it can be cancelled. Right? Or many times when it is big, they use just a natural period for moving.
So that means the vessel can operate in more challenging environments. Part of the design has been to incorporate a U-tube anti-roll tank. And so that means the vessel can operate in more challenging environments. And a lot of our coastal environments do see some pretty severe weather conditions. And we like to be able to investigate ocean processes under all conditions, not just on a sunny day.
We've got a double articulating A-frame, which will allow the vessel to pick up pretty large packages. The watch recovery system will be designed so that it can put CPD almost down to Y level. They have a center board where they can change out some of their transducers. They also have a pretty extensive transducer array. There's LEDs for this project and a drive to collect as much data as possible and as continuously as possible.
Data presence is providing real-time data to enable virtual participation to researchers and stakeholders on the shore. So we've got a team assembled that are developing the technologies to enable this. And in terms of moving forward in the 21st century, that's very exciting. That's where we need to be. The layout was designed to balance people's habitable enjoyment versus practical requirement.
He's saying about layout, right? This is the same as general arrangement. How can you, where to put which function, which room, right? We call it the layout.
That's why this. And every detail on the ships has been scrutinized against the practicality of being underway, doing science at sea. So we put a lot of thought into creature comforts and habitability issues, making sure that they ride well, making them places that people want to be.
I really am passionate about what it is to be on a research vessel. It's a really special opportunity for a scientist, not only to do your science, but to be in a community at sea. I would hate to lose that.
how we can leave to our children and our children's children a better planet where food supply is more constant, where people can have clean water, where plants can grow. We really need to understand what's going on in the oceans.
All right. Any question? Okay. Leadership. Okay, we already see several leaderships. Here they are trying to show how can we arrange the general arrangement of leadership. Skip over. And also FPSO. Amen. Because compared to the building design, compared to the airplane design, ship design is more, maybe formerly airplane can be more compact than ship. So because the cost of space of a building, of a ship, of an airplane is higher, right? Cost per making a space inside 1 cubic meter inside the airplane is expensive for airplane. So that you need to use space more cleverly because it's expensive. So you need to have a more packing, more optimized arrangement, layout is important. Similar to the scientific vessel, that is very expensive ship. Very small one, very expensive. So you need to have a very clever idea to packing spaces into arrangement, good arrangement. Similar to FPSO, is a floating production, storage, and offloading of oil and gas. This is LNG FSRU. It's very similar to FPSO. We're saying floating storage regasification unit. But this one is not far away. This is very near to the land. Very similar to land-based energy storage facility. Nearby in the seashore, they work as a storage tank. And sailing yacht. Sailing yacht is also very interesting topic. Designers, operators, and motor yacht, that it does not have any sail. It is very similar to the ordinary ship, but this is for where is it? For play, not for cargo carry. Right? This is a luxury yacht. Okay. Question? No question, then we will finish up with the discussion session by Ms. Yeon.
About the main topic, I want to discuss on the environmental issue, the global warming. I believe that every high student knows this phenomenon, global warming, but I want to explain it briefly. So, as you know, the global warming is an international phenomenon, which means that Earth's average temperature is increasing. As you can see, the left picture, the global warming results from the greenhouse effect, and right graph shows that Earth's average temperature is rapidly increasing. But as you know, every phenomenon has both sides, advantage and disadvantage. So I want to talk about this first. What can be an advantage? Oops. Sorry.
목재 같은 거 목재. 이런 목재에서 쓰는
Oh, that's okay. One of the advantage of global warming can be the animal protection. Yes, it is not my true idea. Don't believe it. So you can just say winter is less colder than before, so that I don't have to buy goose down. So it contributes to animal protection like this, or maybe disadvantage can be the hotter summer hotter summer than before. So is there any idea of the advantage and disadvantage?
We can eat tropical food that grow in Korea.
You mean that we can grow the tropical?
It's banana or
Yes.
something like that. From Korea.
Oh yes, that's
As a disadvantage, the countries with warmer climate, they will face a drought, especially in warmer months.
drought.
Drought.
Yeah.
Especially, like, not especially in the
Okay.
warm countries, but like all
But,
over,
yeah.
all over the world.
In terms of global issue.
Yeah.
Yes. Rising sea level.
In fact, it's not for me exactly true because of global warming, the temperature is rising in the poles, like Antarctic, for example. So something called the jet stream should contain the cold temperature in the pole, but it doesn't work like this when you have global warming. That's why during January we saw temperature like minus 14 degrees in the United States or minus 20 in Europe. So global warming is much perturbating the world and the climate in all the world, and it's not because we call this global warming that the temperature is rise up in all the continents. So the most disadvantage for me is the deregulation of the climate.
Can you sum up? Sorry.
The perturbation of the climate on the planet because the jet stream is deregulated.
You mean because of the jet stream, all countries don't increase the temperature?
Yeah, exactly.
deregulate.
Yeah.
Deregulate rather than regulate.
Okay. So my main topic is the Southern Sea route. It is one advantage of the global warming. Maybe you know this Haribo jelly, the cute bear jelly. The upper picture is the jelly price in Austria, and the bottom picture of the bottom is the price of Korea. Although the Haribo jelly is €1 in Austria, but it is 2,000 won to 3,000 won in Korea. So it means we are purchasing the same jelly in double price. So what happened to this Haribo jelly? So just brief talking. What happened to our Haribo jelly? What makes us buy this Haribo jelly in double price? What can be the cost?
One of the reasons can be trade tariff.
Trade what?
Tariff content.
Tax you mean?
also be long routes.
Uh-huh. The shipping distance.
Shipping distance.
Okay. Anything else?
Maybe the fuel is not the problem.
The fuel cost. Yeah, maybe these things can result in increasing price. As the left graph shows that shipping quantity is increasing annually, but although the Haribo jelly is enough because of this increased shipping quantity, the price of the Haribo jelly will not be decreased significantly because of the shipping distance. The right figure shows the shipping route from Korea to Rotterdam, Netherlands. Whenever we want to go to Europe with a vessel, we have to take the Southern Sea Route Red Line via Suez Canal. As you know, this is very long distance. So some genius find a new route, the Northern Sea Route, which is shorter and faster than traditional route. One of the greatest explorer, Amundsen, he is a Norwegian. Although he is famous he is famous by the first explorer of South Pole. He is also the first pioneer of Northern West Sea Route. I hate PPT. Always video in PPT makes problems.
일보드라니. Melt has a different, more obvious effect. Where there was once ice, there's now liquid, navigable water. One of the greatest quests for early explorers was to find a Northwest Passage, a navigable sea route connecting the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans through the Canadian archipelago. It was long thought to be a myth, until, in 1906, Roald Amundsen and his 6 crew members arrived at Herschel Island, Canada, having successfully completed a 3-year journey from Norway via the new Northwest Passage. The significance of the Northwest Passage is that until 1914, when the Panama Canal opened, traffic from the Atlantic could only reach the Pacific by sailing around Cape Horn, the southern tip of South America. This meant that a sea route between London and San Francisco, 5,000 miles apart as the crow flies, took 14,000 miles. This was not efficient. It was a significant hamper to development to the American West Coast. The Northwest Passage would have revolutionized maritime trade if it wasn't covered in ice. Roald Amundsen's ship, the Yoa, was small enough that it could snake through and slide over ice. Some of the waterways Amundsen took were as few as 3 feet deep, far too shallow for the increasingly large commercial ships of the time. More than 100 years later, in September of 2013, however, for the very first time, a commercial bulk carrier, the MS Nordic Orion, transited an almost ice-free Northwest Passage on its journey from Vancouver, Canada to Pori, Finland. And this was far from a publicity stunt. This ship saved $80,000 in fuel costs
and was able to take 25% more cargo than if it had gone through the Panama Canal. Even 1,000-passenger cruise ships are now making the journey. Ironically, global warming is actually opening a route that's better for the environment. China is a country with a vested interest in the navigability of the Northwest Passage. As an economy largely based on manufacturing for the Western world, their maritime accessibility has an enormous effect on their national well-being. A reduction in time and cost of shipping to the American East Coast would renew their competitiveness in the manufacturing industry against emerging rivals such as Vietnam and Bangladesh. As China industrialized, largely thanks to its manufacturing industry, the standard of living in the country increased, which correspondingly increased labor costs. China's
Okay, now you have watched the video of Northern Sea route. Then let's discuss the advantage and disadvantage of the Northern Sea route. Okay, one of the advantage can be one of the advantages can be this: ships don't have to pass the narrow canals like Suez Canal and Panama Canal. And one of the disadvantages can be expensive payment to Russia.
I think one of the disadvantages is stability problem.
What kind of stability you mean?
I mean, 비나를 보면
Iceberg.
iceberg can move to another space, so the route is not static.
Okay. Stability of route.
The reliability of the route. Not stability.
Can you say again? Sorry.
It should be reliability.
Reliability, yes.
There is no risk about being attacked by pirates.
Yes, because many pirates are in near the Middle East, Middle Asia. No pirate.
It is not good for travel.
Well, polar bear, yes. Environmental issue. It destroyed polar bear's home. Anything else? The next slide. Now it is not for discussion, it is my opinion. Do you think global warming is bliss or disaster? Because as you see the left figure, the global warming can be a bliss for Russia or shipping companies because of the shorter routes, like Northern Sea route. But it can be a disaster to the polar bear or wolverine. As you can see this right picture, the polar bear is pushing an icebreaker ship which destroys his hometown. What I want to say is this: global warming is disaster. When the thing that is bliss for me can be a disaster to someone, what will you choose? Do you throw it or grab it? I want to throw it away because it can be harmful to others. This figure is the effect of the global warming. The red areas means that if the sea level increases 6 meters, then the red areas will sink down. It means that many people will lose their hometown. This is the last video. Oh, sorry.
Regency for Expats supports expats with its...
It is advertisement. Wait, 20 seconds. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Are driving the acceleration of planetary warming, of climate change, of our ability to change the nature of nature. Get over it. Get over it. Wake up. Realize. And then do what you can do. Or at least don't get in the way. It's taken a long time, too long in fact, to recognize that everything that people care about is anchored in understanding the ocean and taking care of the ocean. I once thought, as many people did, that the ocean was too big to fail. That the ocean seemed a logical place to put things we don't want on the land, a place to dump garbage, sewage, and all the rest. Now the ocean is awash in plastic and other debris or cast-off things. And we take anything out of the ocean, we used to think. And we have policies that are really shaped by that attitude, that the ocean could infinitely keep producing and producing. Now we know otherwise. It's tragic that the United States is not strongly leading the effort to do what humans can do to reduce carbon emissions, to respect the ocean, to respect the atmosphere, to look at the natural processes and how we are impacting them and alter our ways accordingly, because it's our survival that's at risk. Of course it's the economy, and of course it's our health. Naturally it's our security. Most of all, it's our existence. It's on the line. We must take care of the ocean. We must take care of the natural world, from the skies above to the depths below. We must take care of the living earth as if our lives depend on it, because they do.
Yes, this is the end. Thank you for listening.